This conference will now be recorded.
What is our last class? I think we've seen some what libraries that we are used in machine learning, right?
No, we were discussing matplotlib yesterday.
Yeah.
Machine learning, we are supposed to start today.
Okay, I think the basic discussion like what is machine learning, what are the type of machine learnings we have it, that we seen it in our previous classes. I think
Yeah,
so
that we
before
did.
we
Yes.
started that one, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So when see when we are before we are applying the machine learning on our data, okay, so first we should do some kind of data processing steps, okay, so that we will discuss now. So those are the data processing steps. So see, when it is the data processing, okay, let's talk about the data processing, right? Oh yes. Now when we are talking about data processing, these are the steps what we will do actually, that we need to do the step before we applying the machine learning or ML algorithm. Okay, before we are applying the ML algorithm on our data, on historical data or present data, okay, historical data. So when we need to do this particular step, we need to do this particular step before we are applying the machine learning algorithm on your historical data. Okay, you might be thinking, what are the things we should do in a data processing? The first one is, so make sure that some of the libraries we need to import the supporting libraries, supporting labs, sorry. Okay, so you already know that what are the libraries we need to import it. So the first one is the NumPy, second one is the pandas, and third one is the matplotlib, and the fourth one is the scikit-learn. At least these are the libraries, these are the basic libraries, guys. But we may have the PyTorch, we may have the Keras, we have the TensorFlow, we have the, okay, so like Seaborn. So lot many libraries are available in a Python to do some kind of modeling applications. Okay, or before we are applying some kind of machine learning algorithms, then we may have the lot of algorithms are there. From that one, you already habituated or you already know that NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib. But coming to the scikit-learn, this is especially for applying the machine learning. Okay, so I think this is the machine learning. No need to import while the processing time. Okay, but all libraries when you are importing, we should be right in one specific location. That too, it's a initial location. Okay. Yep. Once if you are importing the libraries, the second one is the, you have the target data. We have the some data, right? So you can say that it's a historical data. You can say that it's a historical data. whatever the data we have it, that particular historical data, we need to import it. We need to read it. So sometimes sometimes the data, it can have the two data elements we may have it, or we have the two data sets you may have it. Okay, so that there are there is a two data sets you may have it. So in sometimes, not in all scenarios, the first one is training data. Okay, sometimes training data, and the second type of a second data set, it may contain sometimes, that one is this testing data. So guys, what I'm trying to tell you, in the process, in the steps of data processing, before we are applying machine learning, we need to import some kind of libraries. Just a minute. Okay, so sometimes the company or the project manager, he might be providing the two kind of data. One is the training data, and one is the second one is the testing data. Okay, sometimes the guy, he couldn't providing the both the data elements. He might be providing only one data, that you can say that it's our normal data set. Okay, that particular data set, you need to read it. If training and testing both are available, then both we should read it. Third step is third step is observe the or finding the solution, or we need to analyze the problem statement, analyze the problem statement or business solution or business problem. So you can say that it's a business problem or else problem statement. Okay, so analyze the problem statement in the sense, so maybe what things you have to do it, what we need to do it, like what step we need to do it, or what will you want to do some kind of regression analysis? Will you go for applying the like regression machine learning? Will you go for apply the classification algorithm based upon the problem statement only, based upon the business problem only? For example, I would like to go for invest in one company. Okay, so I just want to know that whether the company is good or bad, that I want to predict. Good or bad, only two options, good or bad, right? Only two options. That situation, you can able to go with the classification algorithms you need to apply it. Might be the project manager is just providing the data, and he was not giving any kind of targeting thing, and he just given a data, and you have to be segregate them same groups. That will be the clustering based algorithm. Okay, see, you should analyze the problem statement and end of the time. But after you analyzing the problem statement, you would know the you will know the target data. If and only if you're understanding the problem statement and business problem, then only we can figure out the we can figure out the dependent variable, dependent or response variable or target variable. You can say that it's a target variable. So these are the two different names, or three different names are there. If and only if you are understood thoroughly your problem statement, then only we can able to figure out which one will be the input data elements, or which are the things are the output variables that you can able to know it. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and next one is fourth step. Within this particular fourth step, once if you're find out your what will be your input variable and what will be your output variable, once if you know it, then we can we can find the missing data in our missing data in data set. What data set we have it? Okay, we have to finding the missing data. After you are finding the missing data, then we should handle it. So handle it, or handle the missing data. So first finding the missing data, then handle the missing data. So how you can able to handling the this particular missing data? There are two again different options are there. Either you can directly remove it, removing the missing rows, missing data rows or the records. You just able to you just able to remove the entire record. You just remove the entire record, even if one element, it is missing. Okay, so when basically the data set which consisting of the rows and columns, right, there are 100 columns are there, and there are thousands or 1 lakh of records are there. By the time of 1,000 columns, one specific column in one particular area which was nothing will be there in that one. That situation, the entire column you should remove it. By the time you are losing some information, if you are able to remove the missing data, what will happen? Maybe you're losing the some valuable information, some valuable information. Okay, so that most of the time, even the companies, just for practicing purpose, some people able to remove that particular thing, but that is not a good practice. That is not a good practice. Okay, removing the missing record. So when you are removing the missing record, when we are removing the missing record, sometimes the valuable information we are losing it, right? And the next one is, and the second one is, instead of removing the missing values, replace is the second option. Replacing the missing data by or missing values by some data. So it can be mean. Okay, you can able to replace the mode, you can able to replace the median of the entire column. Okay, so that will be the second option actually. So one is the removing, third one is the replacement. Okay, replacement of mean, mode, median. Okay, or else replace with 0, replacing the missing value by missing values by zeros. So these are the options you may have it, or these are the steps. Okay, so we can finding the missing data in a data set. So how should I do that? So one thing is that we should handle it. And so how should I handle this thing? One will be the removing the entire row. Third one is the replacement. By the time of replacement, we can replace with mean, median, mode wherever the missing data is there, or else you can able to replace with the zeros. Okay, these are the three ways you can able to or work with this particular thing. See, how should you can able to read this particular training data or historical data? So in a pandas you have the read underscore. If it is a CSV file, we can use the CSV. Okay, here we can able to give you the file name. Oh, this will returns the data frame. This will returns the data frame that you can able to say that it's a DF. Okay, so maybe the file is not CSV file. Okay, so maybe the file is, it may be some Excel file. If it is Excel file, then you should able to read the pandas dot read underscore Excel. Okay, so here we can able to give you file name and that particular file name extension, right? Or Excel XSX. So like this, we have a text file, we can read it, Excel file we can read it, XML file we can read it, HTML file we can read it. So the file can be any kind of format. So the each format it having its own function to read that particular historical data. So ultimately it was converting into the data frame only. Once it is having the data frame, so if you want to remove the missing values, then we have a method is there. The method name is drop now. Okay, for finding the missing values, so df dot drop now is the method. It will remove the all the null values in one step. But how we can able to find out the missing values? Df dot is null dot sum is the function. Okay, some function is there, is now original some function is there. So which was returns the, this is the function which was returns the, from that particular data set, is there any null values are there in a columns wise, it can able to display it. If you have the 10 uh, 10 missing data elements are there, then it will show you the 10 it will be the value of it. Okay, so that's a way it can able to do it. Okay, or else replace. If you want to replace, then here we have the replace option is there. So we have the direct method is there, replace method is there. So guys why, when I think last 2 days back we are working with the pandas, right? When you are learn some kind of functions in pandas, those functions only we would like to go for using in a data processing. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear or not? Okay, so I'm questioning you guys. Did you got my point or not?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, this is the way you can able to handling the missing values, replace, drop, and by the time of replace you can provide the what are the columns you want to replace for the particular column, what we need to do it, that we will google it, or else we can go to the pandas function, we will know it actually. So simply we can give you the input is the 0, then automatically it will replacing the column where the null values are there. So target and the source. Okay, so where we want to be replaced, that you can provide in place in the inside of the replace. Okay, what you want to replace, that also you should provide. Both inputs we have to give you for the replace, then only it can work, otherwise it won't work. Okay, this is the very important step, guys. Next one is finding the categorical data. Finding the categorical data means maybe the data set, it may have the some data set having some characters data instead of the numbers. So in case of the data set which is having the characters data instead of the numbers, then our machine learning algorithms, it won't work actually. Okay, the machine learning algorithms, it works if and only if the data is a numbers, either integer or float. Other than that, it won't work for at all. So categorical data in the sense, some data which is in a character format, then that particular data we are calling it say categorical data. Let us consider some kind of examples. Gender. Okay, so gender means it may have the male or it may have the female, right? So next one is, and height type, HIGHT. Okay, so you can say that is the medium short, okay, or mid, or else tall. Okay, so different options are there. So when we have when we have an information, instead of the zeros and ones, if something is there in a character format, that particular data we are calling it say categorical data actually. Okay, once if you have the categorical data in your data set, then you should handle it. We need to handle it. We need to handle the categorical data. Clear? Is it clear or not? We need to handle the categorical data. Did you got my point or not? So how you can able to handle the categorical data? So there are different options are there. One hard code, um, one hard code, again replacement, okay, label encoder, label encoder. So these are the methods: one hard code encoder, replace, or label encoder. Different kind of methods are which is provided by the pandas. Again, I think we've seen pandas library last week back. In this particular pandas library only, so these are the functions are available. So with help of this particular functions, it automatically convert your data frame or your categorical data into the numbers format. Okay, once it was converting into the number, the previous thing we can able to remove it. How should I remove the one specific columns? After handle the after handle the categorical data, after handling the categorical data, okay, so we need to drop the then drop original column or original data, drop original column, okay. So which was creating some duplicate column, and the duplicate column which is exactly replica of your categorical data which was representing in the numbers column. So then whatever the categorical column we have it, that we can able to drop with help of the drop method. So for that one we can use the drop method, okay. So that's the way you can able to handling the categorical data elements in your data set. Clear, guys? Is there any question regarding about this one? What are the things we should do before we are applying the machine learning algorithm? So this will be things are same for any machine learning algorithm. It doesn't matter whether it is the classification, regression, or clustering, association, reinforcement. It doesn't matter. So this will be the same for any machine learning algorithm. Clear? Now that's okay. We have one more important step is there. The step is finding the outliers. Okay. So outliers in the sense, some data it was extreme data. The data set it may contains the data may contain extreme data, extreme data. Okay, data elements. Extreme data element in the sense which are not in the some region. For example, let's take the a small height variable. I think when I explaining about the stats class, so this is the thing outliers concepts I explain you guys. For example, 5 and 5 6, sorry 6 6.2 and 5.9, okay, or 5.8 and 6.4 also you have it. So we have the 12 and we have the 2. Be careful, observe here. So this is the data elements are the same range, okay, or else which are in this similar information is there. But when you can compare the last two elements, one is the 12, one is the 2. So here which is not in the range, right, which is not in this particular group, which was in somewhere else, it is very difference will be very high. The difference between the this particular reach and every element which will be very large. So this is the data we are calling its outliers. So once if you are finding the outlier, then we need to handle it. For handling the or for finding the outliers, you have the Z score, okay, or we have the box plots. We have the box plots, okay, and you may have the Z score is the main thing. Box plot and Z score, or box plot and Z score, phi summary, 5. Box plot will works based upon the phi summary only. Okay. So with help of the matplotlib, with help of the Seaborn, SciPy, you can able to find out the outliers. So you should handle those particular outliers, guys. Seventh step is handling the outliers. So coming to this particular handling the outliers, so again here we have the one more, two steps are there. One is the remove, okay, remove the outliers. That is not a good practice. Okay, remove the outliers is not a good practice. Next one is replace the outliers. Okay, or else transform the outliers. Okay, transform the data. So and so here we have different kind of scaling techniques are there. Transformation in the sense we can apply the feature scaling. So feature scaling. So coming to this particular feature scaling, so one is the min max scalar. Min max a scalar. Min max scalar in the sense the data which is in between the min and we should use the min max, and the data you can able to convert. Even we have the 1 lakh or 2 lakh is the data, but it was converting into in between the 0 to 1 only. The reason is that you are applying the min max scalar. So the entire data you would like to representing in the in between the 0 to 1, that is min max scalar. Next one is standard scalar. Standard scalar, right? Coming to this particular standard scalar, in between -3 to +3, you can able to represent your entire data. Okay, so these are the steps will can help, it can help you to work with your data before we are applying some kind of machine learning algorithms. So we need to do this particular process. Okay, and the meanwhile you can apply some kind of visualization techniques. So before machine learning also we should visualize. Before machine learning, okay, after applying the machine learning algorithm also, after prediction also, you can able to visualize the or you can visualize that particular data with help of some kind of machine learning algorithms. Okay, so these are the steps you should follow it, guys. So can you please extract this information? I mean, you can able to note it, this entire thing. This is for today's class, guys. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it for this particular class. Once if this is the steps will be common for in any algorithm, you can go with any project. These are the steps we should handle it, guys. We should do it actually. Sometimes there is a problem in a file extension also, that also we should handle it. Okay, yeah, is there any question, guys? So this is the content for this particular class, so you can able to note down it. Gino, Nikhil, Sai, tell me, is there any question for today's class?
Sir.
Okay, so we'll catch up in a tomorrow's class. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
bye. So
Bye.
tomorrow what we will do, We will see practically this thing before we are applying the machine learning algorithms.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye. See you.
Bye.
So Gino, if you don't mind, you can
Mhm.
send me your resume once. I think so. The people they're working on your resume, and if you have any kind of data science resumes with you, please send me it. Okay.
I haven't worked in data science field yet, so
If we have it. Otherwise, no need.
no, I don't have any
Okay,
experience.
fine. No problem. No problem. Bye. Take care.
Okay, thank you. Bye. Yeah.